once again, okay? Yeah. So good morning, everyone. I'm Harshada Kanodia. I'm from Mumbai and I'm 22 years old. I'm pursuing my company secretary degree, but I'm a full-time yoga instructor. I love yoga and I'm practicing yoga from 4 years, but I'm teaching from, just before the COVID-19. And I have done my teacher training course from Kevile Dham, Lonavala. So my today's topic is gynecological disorders and yoga therapy. Ma'am, next slide. So these are the highlights which I'm going to present in my further slides. First is what is gynecological disorders. Another is, according to Ayurveda, what are the causes of reproductive health disorders? Different types of gynecological disorders and their symptoms. And the next, PCOD. Next is yoga therapy and asana for PCOS. Next is diet and therapy for health of Shukra Dhatu. Next, yeah. Then first we'll start with what is gynecological disorders. A gynecological disorder is a condition which affects the female reproduction or reproductive organs, namely the breast, organs in abdominal and pelvic area, including uterus, ovaries, fallopian tubes, vagina, and vulva. Next. So, according to Ayurveda, what are the causes of reproductive health disorders? Reproductive health disorders happens because of imbalance, Tridosha and Agni, imbalance Dhatu, and imbalance Mala. There are many types of gynecological disorders, but today we'll learn some of common types of disorders like endometriosis, uterine fibroid, uterine polyps, urinary tract infections, and ovarian cyst. So next is endometriosis. Ma'am, slide. So endometriosis, it's a condition where the inner lining of uterus starts growing outside the wall of uterus. Commonly, it starts growing on the ovaries or the fallopian tube. However, it can even grow on the cervix, bladder, bowel, or rectum. As you can see in the image, the endometriosis is growing inside the ovary and on the fallopian tube. So like this, endometriosis growth is there. Next is uterine fibroid. Symptoms of endometriosis. Yeah. So the symptoms are painful periods, that is dysmenorrhea, pain while having intercourse, pain with bowel movements or urination, excessive bleeding, and infertility. Next, the uterine fibroid. Uterine fibroid are non-cancerous growth on the uterus that often appears during childbearing years, also called leiomyomas or myomas. Next is fibroid ranges in size from seedling, undetectable by the human eye, to bulky masses that can distort and enlarge the uterus. You can have a single fibroid or multiple ones. In extreme cases, multiple fibroids can expand the uterus so that it reaches the rib cage and can add weight. Uterine fibroids, So the first image is the normal uterus, and the second image with the uterine fibroid. There are three major types of uterine fibroids. First is intramural, submucosal, and subserosal fibroid. The first is intrafibroid, grows within the muscular uterine wall, as you can see in the second figure. And the next is submucosal fibroid, bulge into the uterine cavity. And the third one is subserosal fibroid, projects to the outside of the uterus. Next is symptoms of fibroid: heavy menstrual bleeding, menstrual period lasting more than a week, pelvic pressure or pain, frequent urination, difficult emptying the bladder, constipation, backache, and leg pain. Next, the uterine polyps. Uterine polyps are an overgrowth of cell that occurs in the inner lining of the uterus, that is endometriosis. They are attached to the endometriosis by the thin stalk or a broad base and extended inward the uterus. They may be shaped like finger, bulb, or a stem. As you can see in the figure, that red spots is polyps. Next is symptoms of uterine polyps: irregular menstrual periods, unusual heavy flow during menstrual periods, bleeding or spotting between periods, vaginal spotting or bleeding after menopause, and infertility. Infertility is very common in all the gynecological disorders, I think. And the next is ovarian cyst. No, urinary tract infection. Urinary tract infection is an infection in any part of your urinary system, your kidney, ureterus, bladder, and urethra. Most infections involve the lower urinary tract, the bladder, and the urethra. Women are great risk of infection of developing a UTI than men. Infection limited to our bladder can be painful and annoying. However, serious consequences can occur in UTI spreads to your kidney. Then the symptoms of UTI: a strong persistent urge to urinate, a burning sensation when urinating, passing frequent small amount of urine, urine that appears cloudy, urine that appears red, bright pink, and cola colored, a sign of blood in urine, strong smelling urine, pelvic pain in women, especially in the center of pelvis and around the area of pubic bone. This one is the important: ovarian cyst. Ovarian cysts are the fluid-filled sac or pocket in an ovary or on its surface. Women have two ovaries on each side of the uterus. Eggs which develop and mature in the ovaries are released in monthly cycle, that is our periods. Ovaries normally grow cyst-like structure called follicle. Each month, follicles produce the hormones estrogen and progesterone and release an egg when you ovulate. Next, if normal monthly follicles keeps growing, it is known as functional cyst. There are two types of functional cyst. First is follicular cyst and second is corpus luteum. Follicular cyst occurs when the follicle of the ovary doesn't rupture or release its egg. Instead, it grows until it becomes a cyst. And next is corpus luteum cyst. Abnormal changes in the follicle of the ovary after an egg has been released can cause the egg escape. Opening to the seal of the fluid accumulates inside the follicle and corpus luteum cyst develops. Then the symptoms of ovarian cyst: pelvic pain, a dull or sharp acne in the lower abdomen on the side of the cyst, fullness and heaviness in your abdomen, and next is bloating. Next is polycystic ovarian syndrome, that is PCOS. PCOD and PCOS is a disorder where the follicles produced by the ovaries develop cysts inside the eggs. Therefore, this reduces the number of eggs and can cause fertility issues. The three main features are cyst in the ovary, high level of male hormones, irregular or skipped periods. In PCOS, many small fluid sacs grow inside the ovaries. Like you can see in the right ovary, the word polycyst means many cysts. So these sacs are actually follicles. Each one contain an immature egg. The egg never matures enough to triggers ovulation. The lack of ovulation alters level of estrogen, progesterone, FH, and LH. Progesterone levels are lower than usual, while androgen levels are higher than usual. Extra male hormones disrupt the menstrual cycle. So women with PCOS get irregular periods, very heavy periods, absence of periods, spotting than usual. Symptoms of PCOD and PCOS. Obesity is the topmost symptom, and diabetes, ovarian cyst, hair fall, irregular period, heavy periods, absence of periods, cholesterol, and hirsutism, acne, and infertility. My sister is also having PCOS. She has symptoms like obesity, high diabetes, and acne also. Then the next is the management, I think. Yeah. Next, the PCOS management. Then PCOS is a hormonal disorder. A hormonal disorder happens because of a bad lifestyle. So for the PCOS management, the lifestyle modification is must. The first management is lifestyle modification. Second is all our gynecological problems are relating to our Shukra Dhatu. So we have to start from Rasa Dhatu, that is diet management. And the next is weight reduction. Weight loss can lead to resumption of ovulation within weeks. 5% of reduction in body mass restore the ovulation, and fertility study says that. The yoga therapy and for PCOS and hormonal imbalance. With yoga asanas, pranayam, and meditation, one can stimulate happy hormone, that is dose in Nutan Ma'am's language, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Yoga helps in reduction of stress, tension, and anxiety, which is a major cause of hormonal imbalance. Yoga relaxes the whole nervous system and reduces the secretion of stress hormone. Some Ayurvedic therapies are Basti and Nasya. Next is asanas for PCOD and PCOS. First is Malasan, Setu Bandhasan, Dhanurasan, Janu Sthirasan, Supta Baddha Konasana, Chakki Chalasana, and Surya Namaskar. And pranayam and mudras for PCOS. Bhamri pranayam, Kapalbhati pranayam, Anulom Vilom, Yoni mudra, and Vayu mudra. And yes, the Shukra Dhatu. Like I said earlier, gynecological problems are related to our Shukra Dhatu. So here are some diet and therapies for the health of Shukra Dhatu. So you are what you eat. Then first, for diet, you can add bananas, citrus fruit, dark chocolates, walnuts, whole wheat grain, fish, oyster, milk products, garlic, and the Ayurvedic medicines like ashwagandha, kapikachu, kokushura, white and black muesli, vidhari kandha, shatavari, and telamoli. This all will help you to increase the function of Shukra Dhatu. And this is one message for young girls, that young girls should be advised to adopt healthy lifestyle in the form of balanced diet, having locally available food articles like cereal, pulses, green leafy vegetables, seasonal fruits, fish, jaggery, and dairy products in appropriate amount. This can found easily. Then they should avoid soft drinks, chocolates, junk food. They should be advised to keep to exercise like cycling, jogging, skipping. This will go long to prepare a girl to let her develop as perfect adolescent with minimal menstrual dysfunctions. So, thank you, ma'am. So this was it. Lastly, I want to say a heartfelt thanks to Nutan ma'am for sharing all the wonderful knowledge she shared during this course, and also for giving us this platform to share our understandings. And what can I say about this course? It is a very beautiful course. I'm glad that I grabbed this opportunity in a very earlier stage. I'm just 22 years old, and I see myself a long way because I have done this course. I grabbed this opportunity so early. When I went through this course, when I was joining, I studied the syllabus and I was like, oh wow, this much I'm going to learn. I was like, wow, इतने में इतना सारा मिल रहा है मुझे. Seriously, मेरा ये reaction था. So my journey of this course was amazing. I was very happy. In every class, there is something new thing to learn. I enjoy writing our assignments, I must say. I would recommend this course to everyone because this course was beyond my expectations. Thank you, Nutan, man. Thanks for this course. Thanks a lot. Thanks.